completed one, we're going to put it in our
The weight loss if need to be.
But really throughout the rehearsals, you get a closer look.
Hello, and I am Michael McClellan, and welcome to another edition of The Focus Show. Today my guest is Michelle Ling, who is a professor here at Christopher Newport, as well as the founder of the Pay For It organization. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. So first of all, the first question is, what is the Pay For It organization?
Okay, so Pay It For Her is an organization I decided to found to help support women who are struggling through difficult times, whether big or small. The thinking behind it is having to do with women, just statistics that are shown that women disproportionately make less money than men in the workplace, are underrepresented in well-paying jobs, do more of household labor, do more of kind of the mental load if they have kids, taking them to appointments, things like that. And seeing in my own personal circles, but also again through the research, through what I see as a therapist in the local community, which I do in addition to working at CNU, some of the different ways that women struggle, and noticing that a lot of the times they silently struggle. They think that they have to put forth a face of everything's fine, I got it all under control. But then, they come into their therapy appointments, they may admit everything's not great, I'm having a hard time. And so I feel really aware that there are women, again, struggling in big ways and small, and I wanted to be able to provide some sort of small token of support to let them know there are people who are thinking of them and have their back.
So where did you get the idea for this organization? Like, how did it come about?
So it was a combination of things. Again, I've been seeing that sort of stuff as a therapist for a while, and also in an online group I belong to that is basically women of, so people of my generation might be in some Facebook groups, and so this is a group of women who work in academia who come together in this little Facebook group, and we try to support each other, talk about some of the unique struggles of being a working mom in academia, things like that. And so some of the struggles that came up in that group made me really aware, okay, this is affecting people I know. It's not just abstract people out there. And then meanwhile, out in the world, the Me Too movement was happening. So this was like 2017, early 2018, which is when a bunch of women, most notably famous women, came forward and were saying, hey, sexual harassment and sexual discrimination are occurring regularly in Hollywood. Then that was kind of followed up by the Time's Up movement saying, also, discrimination in the workplace is happening, unfairly targeting women, and it really helped that famous women were coming forward and saying, yes, even I, somebody who you think might be immune to this, has suffered from this, especially when I was younger, more powerless, didn't have a voice that anyone would listen to. And so women were coming together, speaking up about this. It resonated, I'm going again on social media. You couldn't go a day without seeing 5 people posting about this was my Me Too experience or my Time's Up experience. And it really, I think, catalyzed what I had been feeling for a while, which is women need support. They're struggling silently. Now this is coming to light, and it's really the time to act on this. In my own life, I had a little bit of time opening up because as a professor, you get summers off. And so I thought, there's something I want to do. I have the time to start researching and pull something together. Working at a university, I had a sense that I could keep it going into the next year because university students often want to help with stuff like this. I was like, maybe I can get an intern. And so it was really down to what was going on in the world, seeing it reflected in the people I knew, both professionally and personally, seeing this just national conversation happening, and feeling like I had the time to put into trying to do something.
So what impact have you saw that your organization helped with the women involved with the organization? Like, what's the impact? Like, how did it affect them in their lives?
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing because a tricky thing with starting a new organization is getting the word out about it. And we needed to do 2 things. We needed to get the word out for fundraising purposes so that we have funds to support women, and we needed to get the word out so that people who may be our recipients can know that we exist. And so it's small and slow growing. It's the organization at this point in time is me, our treasurer, who, and this is all volunteer, and our intern. And she is a college student. So, we're trying to raise the word in the ways we know how. None of us are professional, like nonprofit professionals or even business professionals. We're just people trying to figure out how to help starting small in our community and hopefully a larger community through the use of the internet. So we're using social media as our big way of letting people know that we exist. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. And so we try to post different kinds of content on each of those feeds so that people can connect with us that way, know we exist, try to get a sense of, are we a source for support for them? Other than that, though, it's through word of mouth. And so really the women that we've helped so far have mostly been through word of mouth. We also were featured recently in the Daily Press. Here in Newport News, they wrote an article about the organization, and that was good because that put the word out to people in this area. Pretty cool thing, it actually got picked up by MSN.com, and so it did go national in some ways, the article. I think it was only going to people who otherwise would have had women's issues show up on their feed. It wasn't like the front page of MSN.com, but we got the word out to some people through that. Mostly the people we've helped have been in the local community who knew about it because I was pretty vocal on Facebook about this is an organization I'm starting, here's what we're doing, reach out if it's relevant. So mostly the women we've helped so far have been through word of mouth.
And the women that you helped so far, have you seen them go to other females or other people that are affected in the same community and actually kind of like help them towards the same thing once that they received the help from your organization?
Yeah, so that's definitely what I hope with the organization. So the idea with Pay It For Her, it's a play on words, like pay it forward, which was, I don't know how long that phrase has been around, but it was for sure a movie in maybe the early 2000s. And it was just this idea that took off of when you've had good things happen for you and somebody's done something nice for you out of the kindness of their heart, you don't have to pay it back to them, pay it forward to the next person. And that's for sure what we are hoping to accomplish. Also, another theme that has really, been in the air the last few years with GoFundMe, stuff like that, crowdsourcing for taking care of people. And a lot of the times, people are funding people they don't know. Another thing, random acts of kindness. That's been big. It's just a buzz topic for several years. And the problem with that, it's nice, random acts of kindness, but what we want to do is concentrated, intentional acts of kindness for people who really need them. And so that is what we hope, even though it's small stuff. Like if I send somebody a card saying, we heard you're going through a tough time, just know that a community of supporters has you in mind. That's not a lot, it's not creating world peace, but it's something small, and the hope is that even doing something small for somebody, A, would help them ripple out into helping them get through their day, but B, when they feel able to be able to pay it forward. And so the best example I know of, you don't always know what people are doing and if they're doing it because we help them or not. But one that I do know, which is really great, is a woman who sadly her husband was lost to suicide, and they had to have 2 small children. And so I knew I wanted to do something to support her because that's a huge, devastating, unexpected loss. And I wanted to make sure that she knew that she was being supported. And so she ended up, something she was doing for herself was she started a small business, and we decided to support the small business. She sells makeup and health care, beauty care kind of products, and skincare, things like that. So we bought some products from the company for the purposes of we're going to then send them on to other women through the organization who need support or need encouragement, because that's a nice gift to receive, something to take care of yourself, to pamper. And we're also going to do a raffle with one of the products. So that's going to be coming up February 13th is Galentine's Day. That is when women support women, and so right before Valentine's Day. And so we're going to do a promotion for that that'll involve the makeup products. Anyway, so we bought some products from her, and that's already going to pay forward and help other people through our organization. But she also said, thank you so much for supporting me. This makes a big difference because I am trying to kind of find my feet in the face of this. This is my small business I'm starting. It means a lot to have support. But she said, as a result of this, and she posted publicly about it, she said, I am going to, for every $100 worth of products that somebody buys, I am going to donate a product to a widow. And so already we're seeing, through her own company, she is paying forward this kindness to other widows who she understands are struggling. And so that's one I know. People don't always get back in touch with me and say, here's what I'm going to do because your organization helped us. But I was really proud of that one.
That's super cool. You had the chance to see that. All right, well, I'll be right back with more questions with Dr. Michelle Ling. Stay right here.
One of the largest municipal parks east of the Mississippi River, Newport News Park offers a wide variety of activities and experiences. These include archery, boating, disc golf, playgrounds scattered throughout, hiking on many historical trails through Civil and Revolutionary War sites, and a discovery center, which lets visitors explore Virginia and Newport News Park's magnificent nature and vast wildlife, ranging from plants to animals. For more information, contact Newport News Park at 13560 Jefferson Avenue or at 757-886-7912.
Music and fine arts provide enriching experiences. They teach students that there can be more than one solution to a problem, more than one right answer, that mistakes are learning experiences, and present an opportunity to be creative and flexible. The arts encourage persistence and dedication. They require sustained concentration, personal reflection involving critical analysis, and self-adjustment to reach desired goals. These are essential 21st century skills. Skills recognized as important to productive career and citizen success. Each student deserves and benefits from an arts-rich education.
And we're back with Dr. Michelle Ling. She is the founder of the Pay It For Her organization. All right, so I know that your organization is founded off of helping women in need, but do you think that as the organization progresses and gets bigger, do you think that you're going to reach a more broader audience like men and children?
No, sorry, men and children. So there may be some room for us to help girls, but the thinking there is really know what your strengths are. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm not a professional in these areas, not a professional fundraiser, not a professional in the nonprofit world. What I do have some expertise in is helping women and understanding what women are going through. And so I kind of feel like for me to exert my most impactful sway on a situation and do the best work I can do, it needs to be focused on the areas that I feel like I know and know how to work comfortably with. So while I think that that's also, it's true that men and children are also deserving of kindnesses, again, coming back to the idea of why I focused on women, I mean, some is because it is an area I know, but also a lot of it is because of what the statistics show about how they are being disproportionately overworked, underpaid, and so because they are doing so much more in those areas and yet having this sense of I can't speak out and say something, that's the reason why I feel like there's a unique need there and that I'm uniquely positioned to meet that need. So for us, our focus will continue to be women. Perhaps younger girls, but the focus really is on the female experience and supporting women through uniquely feminine and female-based sort of hard times.
So how is the one to donate or volunteer or get involved that's not known about your organization? How can they get like acclimated and help out with the situation and stuff?
Well, first of all, I did want to say thank you again for having me on the show, because I think this is a great way for whoever watches the show to learn about the organization. Again, we're pretty big on word of mouth for right now, and so if somebody hears about us and wants to get involved, there's a few ways they can do that. If you are able to donate funds to fund either, we have two funds under the organization. The Small Kindnesses Fund, and that will fund things like sending a handmade card or some like a bracelet or something like that, or a gift card, go out, get some lunch to a woman who might be struggling in small ways. So just the point of the Small Kindnesses is give somebody a little boost to feel like somebody has their back, the thing that might just help you get through the day more. And then we have the Emergency Fund, and that is if somebody has urgent needs that they don't really have the time to go through the red tape of applying through other sources that are like, well, you know, we have to review your application. It takes a month to go through this process. We can work quicker than that. And because it is a private fund, so we do have mechanisms in place for ensuring that the money is going where it needs to go, and we would never give that money directly to a recipient. It would be to the services. But those tend to be more costly. Like if somebody needs help paying their legal fees for a case relating to something having to do with our mission, then that's something we may be able to fund. So we need funding, because each of the things that we do through the funds require funding. So sending a bracelet and a card costs money. Certainly paying somebody's legal fees costs money. And so to donate would be one thing somebody could do. We are a 501c3 organization filed with the IRS, so that means that any donations to us are tax deductible, so somebody can write that off of their taxes. That can be a motivating reason to contribute to us. So funding is a huge thing, but if people aren't able to provide funds but they still want to help, if they have any particular services or expertise that we can offer, for example, one person wrote following the Daily Press article and said, you know, I work with women in business, and I have designed this tool that can help women more effectively articulate their strengths and on a resume or in a job interview, and that's something I'd like to offer to women in your organization if somebody were to present who needed that sort of help. So if somebody had lost a job and needed to apply for jobs. So offering relevant services. And then beyond that, really the thing anyone can do to help us is follow us on whichever of our social media you use, and then share our posts if they speak to you. So again, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And so anything that somebody, just seeing the amount of followers can be helpful. If you're a woman needing support and you go to our page and you're like, okay, 200 people follow this organization, that already kind of makes you feel like 200 people in a way have your back. And then if you go and share one of our posts, then maybe somebody in your friend group who might be struggling knows that you have their back because you're sharing the post from this organization, and that we have their back. So I think it's the social media follows and shares can actually do some real good for us. Also, so the small donations are a big part of how we're going to be able to do what we do. Grants that you can get from different corporations, they may not fund things like sending somebody a gift certificate to go out to lunch. That may not be something they view as valuable, but I view it as valuable. I think a lot of women do, and so that's why we rely on those small individual donations. Those can add up. I mean, a donation of $10 from one person and from another person, I can send somebody out to lunch on that, and so that's really helpful. But we are going to be applying for some grants. They'll probably help more with the emergency fund and operating costs. But when I apply for grants, which I have applied for a couple so far, they may look at our social media and say, who knows about this organization? Who cares about what they're doing? So again, what an individual can do, if they don't have money to give, follow us, please, because maybe the people who do have that money, the grants, the corporations, may look at that.
And what platforms are you on?
So again, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are the ones we know. I'm sure there's a million others that your generation is aware of that I'm not, but we got those three. And so that's a huge thing somebody can do, even if they don't have money to give.
So do you have any upcoming events or anything down the line that's coming up for the organization?
So we will do different giveaways from time to time where if you donate, for example, we did one in September, late August, September, for our birthday, our 1-year birthday, and we did a donation of any amount. You can be entered into a drawing for a mantra band, which is a bracelet with an inspirational message on it that's consistent with the theme of our organization. So we're going to do something similar again February 13th for Galentine's Day. We're going to do a makeup giveaway where a donation of, we may do any amount, I may put a dollar amount on that, enters you into the drawing for the makeup giveaway. I've got some other ideas in mind, but you're just gonna have to follow us on social media if you wanna know what those are as they roll out.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you so much. Again, it was a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, my name is Michael McClellan, and this is Dr. Michelle Ling, and this has been The Focus Show.